This is a Moto 3 Novice season speedrun. Most people tend to use the max for Mountain Dew power. I personally prefer Doritos power, so I picked the character whose name cannot be spoken on an airplane. Yeah, the gamer stereotype has been around since the late 90s, I guess. I've only had this game for well over a week. But I've already broken a couple of records, stage-specific records. So might as well give my advice on what I've discovered so far. That's why I'm commentating here. So I like to take this shortcut here. You just have to jump over it. You don't necessarily need to take a ramp. I like the turbo at the beginning, but I don't necessarily turbo at the end when you go off into the river. I think you have enough speed that you can maintain it going through. I also make sure to jump over those dunes right there. They can add several seconds if you don't do that properly. If you just go over the dunes manually. Right here, I like to expend a little bit of turbo and jump over those rocks. You can weave between them, but I find it easier just to jump. A lot of speedrunners tend to take the winding route to the right more than the shortcut, but I find that it saves several seconds going to the shortcut. You can take that ramp to the right, or you can just jump over these rocks. I find it easier to just jump. I didn't jump over the dunes there. Came a little late. You definitely do want to use the grapples on those two, especially that second one. It kind of flings you, but it's better than hitting the side of the goalpost the checkpoint post. I always want to make sure to rotate, turn to face cave right here. See, I can weave right there, but it's not always reliable. Grapple here. I want to hold on to the grapple pretty long for that second one. You can jump over the starting gate to avoid hitting it, but sometimes it throws you a little too far. You can maybe do it with just turbo. So 208, not too bad. Actually, it's quite good. Try to start out with turboing here to get ahead of these goons. Try to rotate, twist yourself so you don't fall going up the walls. Here you kind of want to just stay on the water as much as possible. Staying to the right is beneficial as well, because it leads to the incline right here. Sometimes it might be faster just to stay in the water more. That is putting staying in the water a priority over staying to the right. Around these curves I try to slow down because these ledges can trip you. So you want to line up and then turbo jump over them all. Here you want to turbo jump over the turn and get there before the checkpoint. It's kind of tricky, but you want to be turning around while you're in the air, so you don't waste time turning on the ground. Yeah, so see, I landed to the left there. But I stayed under the water, so it still didn't take much time. I tried to turbo through that checkpoint a little bit. Yeah, the camera angles are kind of rough in this game. Yeah, so that turbo jump took care of all those ledges. You don't necessarily need to use that grapple, but it's up to you. Yeah, so that jump is kind of tricky, but it doesn't take away too much time by if you miss it. Ideally, you don't want to miss it, but it's not necessarily a game ender. You also, before you reach the finish line, you want to expend the rest of your turbo if possible, just to save up a little time. I jumped a little too far to the left, so I landed on the ledge there. That added a couple seconds just to turbo upwards, but not too bad. See, I didn't jump over all those ledges right there. It's a little tricky, so I ended up hitting the wall. Added a little bit of time, but again, nothing too bad. You want to be careful not to hit your head on that checkpoint. .306, I can definitely do better than that. Still not too bad, though. Yeah, I'm surprised it took me 22 years to play this game. I'm a huge Twisted Metal fan, Twisted Metal speedrunner. You can find on my account. After all, this is the sister series that the developers were making at the same time. So I guess it's natural that I took a liking to it. So you want to tap turbo at the start, just so you don't get caught in the waves if you hold it down. I like to take this shortcut by jumping, tilting back, and then turboing upwards. It saves a couple seconds over taking the long way around. Want to turbo jump off that ramp, get as much distance as possible. You don't need to go through the starting gate, that checkpoint. I like to jump here sometimes, turbo jump. That checkpoint is always hard for a lot of people. You can jump over it or jump under it. Sometimes, a lot of times you just generally want to just turn yourself so that you don't hit it head on. Yeah, I'm taking a shortcut. Turboing here, just holding down the right button. Now you want to align yourself with the lava here. Ideally, you shouldn't be turboing. You want to slow down but not brake towards the top. You don't want to go too fast down here, or else that can happen. You also don't want to go too slow to be unnecessarily slow. It takes practice. Probably want to go around the gates so you don't crash into people or the posts coming through. Taking a align yourself with lava. Slow down around here. Don't brake. Then turn. Around here is where you can turbo. Turbo up here too. Like I said, this is where I like to jump sometimes, but yeah. If you go slow, you can go through it fine. You can definitely go faster than that. Three minutes is a pretty good time. I beat that record by, I think, 13 seconds. Or I beat that time by 13 seconds. I think the previous record was 6 seconds faster. Lost City is the hardest stage on the Novice course. Novice season, rather. There's a lot going on here. I do screw up a lot here, FYI. But I'll explain a little bit. I like to turbo here, since this is a straightaway, then turn left and just, you don't need to brake. I like to use that grapple to straighten myself out. And I like to take this left around the pillars, so I can just turn left, like so. You know, don't need to brake, it's fine. That's kind of why I like Bomber, is because she's got turning radius that's kind of like that. That works out that way. Plus speed. I like to use these grapples as well. When you're in the cave, you're inevitably going to ride up against the walls. You want to tilt yourself to be level with the water, like so. Here, there's a lot of places where you can just skip over. I haven't really found the best route. It's pretty chaotic. And I've seen a lot of people just take different routes on their own. That might be personal preference. I'll make sure to get right between those two pillars. Go around the telescope. You could go over it with the ramp, but it's a little tricky. You have to jump instead of turbo, and it's also just a little too precise to be worth it. You can turbo off that ramp, but you do risk crashing. It's good to turbo here, the straightaway, maybe a little bit right here, after the grapple. You don't need to go too slow here, but, you know, you don't want to be reckless. And skip, you can jump if you want to. Best to use this grapple, I would say, too. Be careful about turboing through that starting gate. This is why you want to align yourself in the middle. And if you do go over the telescope, that's actually a tip that I learned from the Winter 1999 Jam Pack demo disc. The developers taught me that. It's pretty cool. If you haven't seen those demos back in the day, check it out. There is a shortcut that you could have taken to go around that curve, but it's very risky because it's so thin you're inevitably going to crash. It might actually be faster just to go all the way around. That right there is why you don't really want a turbo there. At least not that much. So 4 minutes, not a very good time. You want to stay under 4, I would say. Alright, thanks for watching the speedrun. That was 12 minutes, 16 seconds by my calculations. Enjoy this primitive cutscene. Hopefully you've taken some interest in Jet Moto. It's a very hard but satisfying racer. I may do a semi-pro season next time. Stay tuned. It's a possibility.